Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Roman. I'm a future sports analyst, broadcaster, and hopefully podcaster. Um, so today we'll be talking about free agency and how I feel each team has done so far. Let's get it started. So the first team we have is the Arizona Cardinals. Um, got some solid pickups. I got Gardner Minshew, cool backup quarterback. I got Isaac Siamalu. Before we start, I am a Steelers fan. I will try to be as unbiased as possible. I think he's a great player, good fit for the team. Tyler Algier, whatever. Same with Kendrick Bourne. I mean, cool. They're cool depth pieces for the team. Kendrick Bourne will probably be receiver 3, maybe if he's lucky, to complement Michael Wilson and Marvin Harrison Jr. And I also got Andrew Wingard, the safety, uh, to replace Jalen Thompson. Lost Kyler Murray and Jalen Thompson. Two two leaders of the team, and they're both gone. Um, Not much to say about them. Let's just move on to the Falcons. The Falcons picked up Tua, nice backup option for Michael Penix. They also got Jahan Dotson and Austin Hooper. I mean, I don't know what else to say about them. Probably the two most mid pass catchers you could have gotten. But cool. And then they franchise tag Kyle Pitts. I think that was a great decision. Looks like his career's starting to pick up now. In year 5, I believe it is, or year 4, year 5. They lost Tyler Algier, D. Alford, finally let go of Kirk Cousins, and Darnell Mooney. Um, just kind of mid. I don't. There's nothing really much to say. I think the best thing was franchise tagging Kyle Pitts. That was about it. Um, Moving on to the Baltimore Ravens. Boo. Um, Got John Simpson and Jalen Hawkins. I thought Jalen Hawkins played pretty well with the Patriots last year. And then Trey Hendrickson they got after the Max Crosby incident. Paying him a lot of money. Well deserved, though. He's a great player. So 3 pretty solid free agency pickups right there. Only re-signed Tyler Huntley and Chidobe Awuzie. To my Steelers fans out there, Chidobe Awuzie's last snap was a touchdown on him from Calvin Austin to send the Ravens out of the playoff contention. Let's go through the departures now. Lost your starting center, Tyler Linderbaum. Lost Isaiah Likely. Lost Draymond Jones. Lost Elahi Gilman. Lost Patrick Ricard. Lost Keaton Mitchell. I mean, I don't know what else to say. This team's just starting to go down the drain, it feels like. We'll see what they do in the draft. I think Keaton Mitchell is an eye to look out for in free agency. I believe he went to the Chargers. He should have a pretty solid year this year, hopefully. Um, I mean, I don't know. I don't really think the Ravens did too well. Um, I mean, at least I think the additions were good. You just lost a lot of players, a lot of key players. So we'll see. Moving on to the Bills, picked up some solid players. Got DJ Moore in the trade with the Bears. Um, Nice complimentary weapon for Josh Allen. Also signed D. Alford and Bradley Chubb. Great pickup right there. And then C.J. Gardner Johnson too. 4 pretty solid pickups. Also brought back Connor McGovern, the center. Nice veteran piece for the line. Um, I think the really sucky part is just losing Taron Johnson in free agency. He's a great player. That's gonna be hard shoes to fill. Not bad, Buffalo. Not bad. Moving on to the Panthers. Great free agency. Picked up Jalen Phillips, good underrated edge rusher. Picked up Devin Lloyd, the linebacker from the Jaguars. Also brought in Rasheed Walker. 3 very underrated guys, and they all got the bag. Phenomenal. Um, you know, only lost Rico Dowdle that's really the only biggest piece of the puzzle that you lose. I think you can go draft someone though. So great job. The Panthers are on the rise. Moving on to the Bears. Signed Kobe Bryant, safety from the Seahawks. Also signed Devin Bush, coming off a good year with the Browns. Garrett Bradbury in the trade. Um, and also got Jedrick Willis from the Browns too. Lost DJ Moore and lost Tremaine Edmonds. Also lost Kevin Byard and Jaquan Brisker. Losing Jaquan that's pretty rough. See how he does in Pittsburgh. So I kind of just mid. I mean, brought in some guys, lost some guys. Not much else to say. Um, we'll see how they do. Moving on to the Bengals. Brought in Brian Cook from the Chiefs. Brought in Boye Mafe and Jonathan Allen. Placing Trey Hendrickson with Boye Mafe. I don't know what else to say. Also lost Joseph Asai too. So you lost both of your starting edge rushers. I mean, Bengals they're tight on money. You're paying Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins almost half the salary cap. So, I don't see this team really having too much success. But, okay, free agency. Moving on to the Browns. Do you ever just look at a roster and be like, man, that team sucks. That franchise sucks. That is the Browns. You sign and trade for only offensive linemen. All you got was Quincy Williams, man. Like, there is bigger fish to fry. And you're over here just signing all of these offensive linemen. What is the point of that? I don't get it. I don't get it. You lose Devin Bush and Dedrick Willis. Two pretty solid pieces of the team. And then you go out and just sign a bunch of offensive linemen. I don't know. The Browns are the Browns, as Juju once said. There's nothing much else to say. The Browns are the Browns. Moving on to the Dallas Cowboys. Traded for Rashawn Gary. Also got Jalen Thompson, PJ Locke. PJ Locke came alive in that Broncos playoff run. And also got Kobe Durant. A lot of secondary help for them. Got what they needed. Franchise tag George Pickens as a Steelers fan. Phenomenal job. Phenomenal. Also signed Terrence Steele back. Javonte Williams, I was a little bit surprised about. And Brandon Aubrey, arguably the best kicker in the league. Not bad. I mean, not much else to say. Good job, Dallas. Good job. The Denver Broncos, rough. Who did they add? Absolutely nobody. But they signed back Alex Singleton and J.K. Dobbins. Awesome. Phenomenal. You lost John Franklin Myers, P.J. Locke, and Dre Greenlaw. Three pretty solid defensive players. I don't know. Let's see how they fill those gaps, especially John Franklin Myers. Played very well last year. Moving on to the Lions. This team is going down the gutter, feels like. Signed Isaiah Pacheco to replace David Montgomery's void, if you will. Is he really an upgrade? Is he really? I mean, I don't know. I don't really think so. Also lost Alex Anzalone and Amik Robertson. I don't know. This team really doesn't, excite me too much, especially on the defensive side of the ball now. I think the offense is still good, but I don't know. I think rough sledding, especially since that whole NFC North is really stacking up. So, Packers now. Another team. I mean, you got Zaire Franklin. He's getting a little older now. Benjamin St-Juste. I haven't heard that name since the Washington Commanders days. I believe he was on the Chargers. Javon Hargrave getting up there in age. Sky Moore, haven't heard him since the Chiefs. Here's all the departures. Rashawn Gary, Quay Walker, Malik Willis, Colby Wooden, Kingsley and Margay, Zane Anderson, Emmanuel Wilson, Romeo Dobbs, Nate Hobbs, Elton Jenkins, and Rasheed Walker. A lot of guys in there that played vital roles last year. I, we'll see. We'll see how they fill those voids, but um, I, I don't really. I feel like this team's kind of going down the gutter a little bit too. Same with the Lions. The Bears and Vikings are starting to move up. So we'll see. Kind of mid. I think he lost way too many guys. Packers. Houston Texans. You add your running back in David Montgomery. Not a bad trade. Also got Braden Smith to help beef up the line after losing Titus Howard. Also got Reed Blankenship, the exciting white. Brought back Sheldon Rankins, Trent Brown. And, all you really lost was Titus Howard. And you got your replacement already, so not bad from the Texans. Not bad at all. Moving on to the Colts. A little rough sledding from them. Brought in Arden Key, underrated player. That's pretty much it to name off. But I think it was great re-signing Daniel Jones. I think he deserves that starting quarterback job in Indianapolis after he played last year before his injury. And then also extended Alex Pierce. So two really solid players from last year come back on the team. So, and then, losing Michael Pittman Jr., who looked like Daniel Jones' number one option. A little bit rough. As a Steelers fan, I'm very excited. And then, you lose Zaire Franklin, lose Braden Smith, lose Kwity Paye, lose Nick Cross. All five of these guys played pretty big roles last year. Low rough sledding for the Colts. I think they should be fine, though, hopefully. They can find the replacements. Jaguars, rough. Who did you add? Chris Rodriguez Jr. Awesome. To fill in Travis Etienne's spot. No. God, no. Like, seriously? You lose Devin Lloyd, Travis Etienne, Greg Newsome, and Andrew Wingard. Rough. Very rough. We'll see how they take on the draft. I thought they were, this team looked to be going in the right direction, and after this free agency, I mean, man, you just lost a lot of key guys. Lost a lot of them. Rough sledding for the Jaguars. Kansas City Chiefs got Kenneth Walker, paid him a bag, overpaid him, maybe. We'll see. Brought in Elahi Gilman and Justin Fields. He might be used a little bit next year. We'll see. Brought back Travis Kelce and Tyquan Thornton. I would like to see Tyquan Thornton play a little bit, but I mean, that's pretty loaded receiver room. Lost their whole secondary, to say the least. Trent McDuffie, Jalen Watson, Brian Cook, Joshua Williams. Yikes. That's not even naming a, you lost Isaiah Pacheco, Leo Chenault. Yeah. Little rough sledding from them. We'll see how they decide to go into the draft. Because that's a lot of guys in the secondary, I think it'd be different if you only lost Trent McDuffie. No, you lost all your corners. I mean, I don't really know what to say. Losing all of your secondary is pretty tough, so they must have a plan in place. Las Vegas Raiders, great free agency from them. Brought in Tyler Linderbaum to beef up the line. Brought in Kwity Paye to help out the defense, alongside with Max Crosby. Also got Nakobe Dean and Quay Walker at the linebacker position. Brought in the steal of free agency in Teron Johnson. And also got Jalen Naylor, too. Good receiver threat. Man, this team looks pretty good. I can't lie, on paper. They also got Eric Stokes back in the secondary. I mean, I think the defense looks really good. We'll just see what happens with the offense. Um, and then you only lose Kenny Pickett and Dylan Parham. Raiders look pretty good. I can't lie. Moving on to the Chargers. They should be scary this year. Brought in Alec Ingold, Cole Strange, Keaton Mitchell, Charlie Kohler. Um, you know, some decent guys, nothing too crazy. Brought back Khalil Mack, Vidal, the running back, Trevor Penning too. You lost Adolphe Owe. That's pretty much it. Pretty much it. I think they can fill his position back in. Not bad. I think this team's gonna be really scary next year. We'll see what they do in the draft. Moving on to the Rams, pretty solid free agency from them. Got both the corners from the Chiefs and Jalen Watson and Trent McDuffie to beef up the secondary, and also re-signed Cameron Curl. Only lost Kobe Durant and Tutu Atwell. Whoop-de-doo. Also brought back Tyler Higbee too. So this team looks pretty good. Can't lie. Moving on to the Dolphins, they brought in Malik Willis for the quarterback spot and Tutu Atwell. This team is very rough. I think the Dolphins might have the worst receiver room in NFL history. Tutu Atwell is the best receiver on this depth chart right now. That is absolutely wild. That is ridiculous, actually. Brought back Greg Dulcich. Wow, whoop-de-doo. Awesome. And brought back Willie Gay Jr. They lost Tua, lost Minka, lost Alec Ingold, lost Cole Strange, lost Bradley Chubb. Rough sledding. Rough sledding, to say the least. Moving on to the Vikings. You brought in your cornerstone quarterback in Kyler Murray, and also got James Pierre, as a Steelers fan, very underrated guy. Played very well for us last year. Sucks to see him go, but brought back Eric Wilson, Ivan Pace Jr., very underrated linebacker. Also brought back Aaron Jones. Lost Jalen Naylor, Ryan Kelly retired, Javon Hargrave, Jonathan Allen. I think it's just gonna be a little bit hard to find those defensive lineman pieces in the draft, but nonetheless, I think they had a pretty solid free agency just off their 2 signings alone. They look to be trending in the right direction, so very happy for them. The New England Patriots, fresh off the Super Bowl loss, they go and get Romeo Doubs. I think he's a great fit for this team. I don't think he's better than Stephon Diggs is, but I think he's still a pretty solid receiver and got the bag too, so props to him. Got Draymond Jones, Elijah Vera Tucker to beef up the line, Reggie Gilman, Kevin Byard. Solid additions, nothing crazy. Didn't re-sign anybody. They lost Garrett Bradbury, their center, Austin Hooper, Jalen Hawkins, and Kavlon Chasen. I think that those guys can be filled in though, but not bad from the Patriots, not bad at all. Moving on to the Saints. Got their running back, Travis Etienne. We'll see what happens with Alvin Kamara's situation. Got Caden Ellis, linebacker, and David Edwards, and also Noah Fant. Sorry. I should put some more respect on Noah Fant's name. Brought back Julian Blackman. He played pretty good last year. They lost Demario Davis and Alontae Taylor, the 2 defensive guys. I mean, I don't really see the Saints doing too much next year. They're still in rebuild mode. But, yeah, not much to say. Got their running back of the future, though, so. New York Giants got Tremaine Edmonds, got Isaiah Likely, Greg Newsome, Patrick Ricard, Jason Sanders, Darnell Mooney. Some pretty solid pickups right there. Um, I mean, no one really mentioned it in the re-signings. Brought back the GOAT Evan Neal. No guaranteed money, by the way. Um, Got to go prove it, man. Lost Wandale Robinson, Daniel Bellinger, Cordero Flott. Um, Two pretty solid guys in Wandale and Cordero Flott. I think they can fill those guys in, though, easily. And I really think they did already with Calvin Austin, but we'll see. Um, Not bad from the Giants at all. John Harbaugh looks to be pushing in the right direction. The New York Jets traded for Geno Smith, traded for Minka, got Demario Davis back, Joseph Asai, sorry, Devondre Sweat. We got a couple good guys. Trading for Geno Smith, just dumpster fire franchise. Franchise tag Brees Hall. Hopefully he's able to leave next year. Lost Quincy Williams, John Simpson, Elijah Vera Tucker, Jamar Johnson. We'll see how they decide to re-up on the linemen this year in the draft. Kind of just a really rough franchise. Don't really know what direction they're going in. Moving on to the Eagles. Brought in Tariq Woolen. I'm not a huge fan of him. Brought in Jonathan Jones too, so two okay corners. Re-signed Dallas Goedert. Pretty good re-signing there. Lost a lot of guys though. Jalen Phillips, Reed Blankenship, Nakobe Dean. Three pretty solid guys right there. I think they can fill those spots though. Still a playoff contention team, so not bad. Moving on to my Pittsburgh Steelers. We traded for Michael Pittman Jr. Great trade to complement DK Metcalf. Got Jamel Dean, very underrated corner. Got Rico Dowdle too, very solid running back, and Jaquan Brisker. So in my opinion, four pretty solid guys that will contribute next year. Re-signed Cole Holcomb and Asante Samuel Jr. Thought Asante Samuel played pretty well last year when he got his reps. And then lost Isaac Seumalo, Kenneth Gainwell, and James Pierre. Three solid guys that we lost. So, but again, I think Rico Dowdle already filled Kenneth Gainwell's spot. Jamel Dean already filled James Pierre's spot. So just got to find that guard and figure out the quarterback situation. So, not bad from the Steelers. Moving on to the 49ers. Brought in Mike Evans. You lost Kendrick Bourne. You brought in Mike Evans. Upgrade already. Brought back Dre Greenlaw and Nate Hobbs. So, not bad at all. I feel like they only upgraded and didn't really lose too much. So, 49ers are always pretty solid franchise. They know what they're doing. John Lynch is a very good GM. So, we'll see what happens with them. They should still be fine. Seahawks brought in Emmanuel Wilson. Is he an upgrade over Kenneth Walker? Absolutely not. I'm sure they'll find someone in the draft, though. Re-sign Rashid Shaheed, though. Big, huge. And Drake Thomas, too, very underrated. Ty Okuda, nice depth guy. Josh Joby. Lost Boye Mafe, Kobe Bryant, Kenneth Walker, and Tariq Woolen. I think these are all four guys you can definitely replace in the draft. No one really screams like we need them. So Seahawks should just be just fine. They got all the salary cap, just won the Super Bowl. So moving on to the Buccaneers. Got Alex Anzalone, great. Got Kenneth Gainwell, great. Two really solid guys right there. Re-signed Cade Otton. I think the fact you can re-sign Cade Otton, but you can't bring back Mike Evans is pretty laughable. Lost Mike Evans and Jamel Dean. Two really, really solid players, so that's going to be rough sledding for them to go find a replacement. I think they're still a solid team, though. Just got to go find that kind of deep threat receiver again. I don't think Chris Godwin is a receiver one or a Emeka Buka, but we'll see. Moving on to the Titans, pretty solid free agency from them. Got John Franklin Myers, got Wan'Dale Robinson, Jermaine Johnson from the Jets, Alante Taylor, Cordell Flott, Daniel Bellinger, Joshua Williams, just to name a few guys. Pretty solid. Pretty solid guys. Also brought back Joey Sly, the kicker. Got to give the kicker some love. Um, Lost to Vondre Sweat, Arden Key, and Chikakonkwu. I think those are three guys you can easily get in the draft to fill their spot. Really solid from the Titans. They look to be moving in the right direction. Washington Commanders brought in Adelphi Awa, Leo Chenal, Meek Robertson, Kayvon Chasen, Chikakonkwu, Nick Cross, Rashad White, Jerome Ford. Pretty solid guys. Pretty solid guys. I can't lie. Um, really didn't lose anyone either. So not bad. I hope they get back into playoff mode like they were 2 years ago. So we'll see how they move, and let's see if Jaden Daniels can stay healthy. And that's it. That's all the teams. So kind of up and down free agency. Not too many huge moves, I would say, but I think there's a lot of teams that did get better and a lot of teams that still need to improve. So that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for tapping in, and see you later.